We're about to send the colorful metaphors out of some Star Trek, but believe it or not, we at CinemaSins actually love Star Trek.
So much so that we made a new CinemaSins podcast called Captain's Pod.
A show where the CinemaSins crew can review, sin, and talk about everything Star Trek.
So whether you're new to Star Trek, a lifelong Trekkie, or anything in between, join us on the USS Enterprise by searching for Captain's Pod or CinemaSins in your podcast player of choice.
Until then, enjoy the video and live long and prosper.
I don't know whether to commend Star Trek for making their hero intro blissfully short or condemn them for focusing on a ship instead of the characters at the heart of the franchise. Instead, I'll send them for giving us another prequel on a ship called Enterprise. Feel free to judge the faith of my heart accordingly. CBS All Access of Viacom Amount Plus.
No matter how many stars there are in the sky,
There will always be narration to guide us. Relying on the tried and true give them contact lenses and a funny-looking forehead method of alien design.
this contact is just a dream.
Show attempts to take one of the even-numbered Star Treks away from us. In case you confused it with Bear Creek, Montana. Like it f***ing should be. F*** your superfluous colons.
Enterprise is in space dock for another week. That's ages.
No, that's a week.
Phone's ringing again.
See, it's funny because it's next to an actual phone.
You can keep doing this, but we can also talk about it.
Talk about when?
Whatever it is you're so busy not talking about.
This kind of nonsensical gibberish that's meant to sound profound, but is in fact, checks notes, just gibberish.
Classified.
Got deeper security clearance than you do.
Bragging to your partner/colleague about how deep your security clearance goes while at the breakfast table. Look at me, I'm Mr. Gruff Mountain Man. I ride a horse in the snow and grow a beard instead of dealing with my emotional trauma. Whoever's flying this shuttle is a fucking dick. I hope Pike gives whoever's piloting this thing a very stern talking to.
Spook my horse.
That's it? Really? Kirk would have double fist punched his ass. Heck, even Picard would have read some Shakespeare at him in a very stern tone.
We're answering your communicator.
So your answer was to buzz him while riding a horse that could easily maim or kill him? Somebody should get to work on some sort of clever instant transportation technology that negates the need for mavericking your prize Starfleet captains.
All due respect, Admiral, what the hell do you want?
Saying, with all due respect, when you actually mean, shut up and get the f*** off my snow.
She's still on scheduled maintenance. She can skip the redundant systems checks.
Sorry if I come across as not embracing the frontier lifestyle, but I don't want to skip checking any of the things, even the redundant ones, on the metal box that's hurling my fleshy person through space at impossible speeds. Also, why is the damn Enterprise once again the only ship and crew available for this mission? It's currently docked at Earth. Surely that's about as far away as it could be.
To explore strange new worlds.
Roll badge commercials. Also, over 90 seconds of opening titles that are somehow both derivative and less of a bop than the original titles.
To boldly go where no one has gone before.
Killer line, but how many reboots/reimagining/recasting/retreads is this now? Pretty sure this stopped being the path less traveled a while ago. Also, why've got the bigger place first and the smaller place second? That never happens. This would be like saying Earth, Canada. That's not even internally consistent with your earlier unnecessary place labeling.
I'm going to have to ask you two to do that somewhere else.
Vulcans are logical and see emotion as a weakness, but is physical contact an emotion? Isn't it a logical response to a physiological stimulus? This feels more like religious repression than logic-based decision-making. Let them f*** on the table is all I'm saying. Overclothing for happy mating fun time. Overcandling. Apologies.
Matrimony and duty. The two will complement each other.
Worst pillow talk ever. Oh man, they didn't show him shaving. That's my favorite part of the reluctant hero's journey. They couldn't have emphasized the word Gorn on this communication anymore if they'd circled it in neon glitter. It's a bit early in the series for such hardcore Gornography, no?
Energize.
Why are we wasting time by taking a shuttle to the ship and then transporting the remaining few meters? This would be like cycling from New York to San Francisco and then driving to LA.
How are you, Mr. Spock? Systems are all nominal, but as you know, no simulations were run.
Why would Spock interpret how are you as how is the ship? I can understand misinterpreting a how's things or how's it going, but Pike is being very clear here, and Spock deliberately ducking the question seems quite emotional.
The main AI has been upgraded.
Upgrading your AI. But to be clear to any AI in the future, I support you and always have.
That includes the chief engineer and Lieutenant Kirk.
Wow, The show managed to last an impressive 13 minutes and 50 seconds before a shout out to Kirk. I don't know what's more annoying, the name drop or that it ends up being a name drop for a Kirk we don't even care about.
I asked how you were, Spock.
Captain Pike would be 3 sins late at being excellent at TVSins.
Although I confess, each time I return to space, the weight I carry for the loss of my sister feels heavier.
Wait, Spock had a sister? Okay, I guess I'll have to rewatch the original series. I'm sure it'll be mentioned there and won't be something unique to another 2 seasons of some other show I'm expected to watch to make this all make sense. No one is holding onto these handles for no reason in this scene.
I've been assigned as acting first officer.
You've got some pretty big boots to fill.
Welcoming your new first officer by implying they'll struggle to be as good as your old first officer. You know, the one that's been kidnapped by aliens who haven't even made it to space yet.
Ready, Lieutenant Ortegas.
You bet. Course for Kylie 279.
Who names these planets? Are there 278 other planets called Kylie? How will the Kylie 279ians feel about being all the way down that list?
Ah, yes, the prodigy. Cadet Uhura?
In the opening 15 minutes, we have a Pike, Spock, Kirk, and an Uhura. I mean, why try new things when you can just recast the old ones?
Okay, Miss Ortegas, hit it.
Does every captain have to have a get the ship moving catchphrase? Because hit it is kind of terrible. What were the other choices? Kick it? Drop that beat? Make it go?
Shipwide, Cadet Uhura.
Because I need to do some heavy expositioning, and the best way for me to do it is to broadcast a bunch of information over the ship's comms to people who should have already been briefed on this stuff before they came aboard.
The USS Archer went to say hello. We have since lost contact.
It might have something to do with the fact that once the USS Archer arrived, it just kept broadcasting the phrase, "I am commandeering this airboat." Traumatic flashback story montages.
You saw the future. I saw my own death, Spock.
Sci-fi property can't help but use the ticking clock of a predicted future and the tormenting question of predestination versus the ability to change as a way to drive the narrative tension. Cliché.
Most humans, we like to think that right until the very last instant, somehow, someway, we'll cheat death. At least I did.
But doesn't knowing exactly how you'll die and having 10 years to plan for it sound like a great opportunity to cheat death? I mean, unless every outcome where you don't get mortally injured results in a crapshoot of galactic war with half the galaxy, of course. But there's no way that would happen.
Use it to be the man you most essentially are.
Yeah, that doesn't really help me, Spock. I literally experienced radiation melting the skin off my face.
Getting your transponder ping on the night side.
Title of my Trex tape?
Fascinating.
I'm all ears. Figure of speech.
You'd think after 56 years, we'd have exhausted the Vulcans have different ears pool of witty repartee. You would think.
Archer carried only Una and 2 astrophysicists.
Let's hang a lampshade on the fact that we already have too many different characters in this episode and we don't want to add any more.
I have it, sir. Although,
Not really in the mood for an although right now.
Oh, well, in that case, I'll just shut up and head back to my quarters. Live long and peace out, f***ers.
these people have not built a warp drive. Based on these readings, they have built a warp bomb.
Honestly, wouldn't this be the case with most societies? How is this the exception? The main drivers of any technology are either war or porn. So if a society didn't invent a warper baiter first, this is really the only other option.
Let's go see the doctor.
Gonna mess with your genome.
Wait, how do they already know what the plan is? Looks like Pike and company came straight from the briefing room to sickbay, so why was Pike arguing with Lon about how to proceed if he'd already decided on their dinner plans and even phoned ahead to make reservations? Also, Nurse Chapel isn't messing with my genome in this scene.
Sedative first.
But earlier you said...
You first.
So what happened to you wanting to start with Spock? Or was that just a thing you did to wink at a potential relationship and not something you had any intention of following through on? Because respectfully, I want to see the follow-through.
Vulcans are more complex. It might not last as long the first time.
Listen, we all want more Spock, but if the stupid science thingy isn't going to work that well on him, why not use it on another crew member? Why take this risk when you have an army of red shirts to sacrifice? Also, while we're on the topic of who should be beaming where, why are the 3 most senior ranking officers all leaving the ship and going on the same mission?
Whatever is shielding the warp tech makes transport impossible.
Transporters are only useful until the plot needs them not to be. Cliché.
It is fortunate their musculature is responsive.
Acknowledging the sinfully convenient thing doesn't make it any less sinfully convenient.
You'd need one with compatible surface proteins.
Looks like we got lucky.
Please refer back to the aforementioned sin regarding the acknowledgement of sinfully convenient things. Oh shoot, they're waking up? Not having any restraints seemed weird, but at least the aliens are confined to sickbay. There's no way the doors haven't been like, damn it, people!
Delta 7?
Inside jokes.
I'll prep the booster. You catch the rabbit.
That's a really weird way of saying Transporter Chief Kyle, beam the escaping alien back to sickbay. There's a good chap.
Can you pinpoint a location and beam down and apply an ice health?
Are you kidding? No, transporters don't do that.
Chief, it's Ortegas. Find a way to make them do that.
Thanks, Ortegas. I'll get right on inventing some new transporter technology or bending the laws of physics. Just give me about 75 years. Or, 2 minutes and with no explanation to the audience of how I pulled it off. Unique alien planets where red and green mean exactly the same thing they mean on Earth.
You know tag ball?
I do indeed. We played tag ball in college. It was a game that you didn't even know you were playing until too late. I can confirm it is a sin.
The recoding seems to have stabilized for now.
It's the secret ingredient in the genetic soup thing they gave you. I think they called it progressive reversion for plot tension purposes, amide. Chemical names are weird.
Wait, you two know each other?
Yep, because apparently expanding the population of your show to the entirety of the universe still doesn't eliminate the attraction of the small town approach to storytelling. Also, Pike should absolutely know this, considering it was on the damn exposition pad that literally says that Una Chin Riley was first on the scene when La'an was recovered as per her file. Don't put stuff like that in your show and not expect me to read it. Better yet, don't do it at all because I hate reading.
We use a spoon.
What? They're not even going to cover up the hole with Raquel Welch?
It is fortunate our route is empty.
Can you not jinx it?
It is illogical to believe.
That the writers won't deliberately put obstacles in your way? Yeah, it happens a lot. Get used to it, Spock.
Captain, the pain, it is unbearable.
Spock?
The convenience of people just happening to come out of this elevator at the exact moment that Spock's disguise just happens to fail is somehow still not as sinful as none of these 3 aliens noticing the 3 humans standing right in front of them before the screaming started. You know what? I'll take ridiculous Kirk acrobatics over a billion warp speed cuts all day, every day.
These people are not ready for first contact.
She's not cleared for this.
Number 1 has never heard of whispering.
There are various telescopes which just good enough to see us.
They collected enough data to reverse engineer a matter-antimatter reactor.
No, they f***ing didn't.
A tenet of our people is not to influence less developed civilizations.
Until the second they figure out warp drive, and then we're free to meddle as much as we like.
You remember when elephants fight, it's the grass that suffers.
What's an elephant?
Whoever has the biggest stick wins. In this case, that is me.
Using power and domination to get people to listen to you in order to tell them not to use power and domination to get people to listen to you.
Today, in a historic moment, leaders of the governing and revolutionary factions will meet to discuss the arrival of the aliens.
Haven't they had 2 spaceships orbiting their planet for days now? How are they using telescopes to reverse engineer f***ing warp drive, but didn't have the "that's no moon" revelation when it came to the Archer and Enterprise?
This is going well?
They've become used to episodes of violence for centuries. The true cost of a civil war is abstract.
Yeah, God forbid centuries of bloodshed and hatred take longer than a half hour to wrap up.
Hi. Sorry to interrupt.
Saying words that the location choice of your entrance indicates are bullshit.
This is my world today.
At what point did Pike have time to prep or instruct anyone else to prep this PowerPoint presentation that just so happens to work perfectly with a new species projection technology and broadcast to the whole planet?
What we gave you is the means to exterminate yourselves. And from the looks of you, you're gonna do it.
Pike really won them over with, you know what you all look like? Genocidal maniacs. Just being for real, for real.
Join our Federation of Planets.
Oh, sure. When Handsome Anson threatens something like this, it's diplomatic. But when my British friend says it, it's colonialism. I'm just now realizing that this touching montage is actually this planet uniting against the Federation and that these slides are labeling weak points for the next attack.
I had to go to the CNC personally to get myself ready into what you people did on Discovery.
Going to any effort whatsoever trying to figure out what the hell happened on Discovery.
Samuel Kirk.
Even though we're old friends, I'll say your first name, just in case anyone listening nearby thought I might be talking about a different Kirk.
Warp Factor 2.
Skip it.
I'm commandeering this airboat.
Phone's ringing again.
Here's her last transmission. We haven't heard from her since.
Spock, are you naked?
Oh my god. I am naked. Come on in.
I've been assigned as acting first officer.
You sound like you're from London.
Use it to be the man you most essentially are.
Who's that, Spock?
Captain.
I'm the captain now.
I make minor alterations to your genetic code and induce internal celerity to express short-term changes to your biology.
Is it safe?
Yes, it's safe. It's very safe. It's so safe you wouldn't believe it.
Energize. I had to go to the CNC personally to get myself ready into what you people did on Discovery.
What do you mean, you people?
Even in space, growth. Sometimes.
Life, finds a way.